today by Simon Brodkin. Simon?
I'm delighted to be here.
How are you?
Thank you. Great. In Speaker's Corner, HQ.
In the little box room.
Well, if what you can't see on camera is the boxes, but it looks great in this tiny corner.
Thank you very much indeed. So let me start. Kind of obviously the move from character Lee Nelson and others to yourself.
Yes.
Which for me kind of is a big thing for the corporate world and stuff like that. I presume that's why you did it.
For you, yes. For this moment now. Yeah.
What made you the decision to be yourself, I suppose?
Good question. Yeah, it was a combination of things. I think it was. Look, characters are incredible, and they burn quickly and very brightly. Everyone can get a character immediately. They're easy. I always found it easy to step into character, and you instantly get what they are. But after, I think we had 3 series on BBC Three, and 3 Apollos, and 3 Live at the Apollos, and hosting it, and it felt like I was kind of thinking. There was a moment where, because I do a lot of interaction with Lee, and there was often moments I'm going, that's me, and he's getting the credit for this. Damn it! So it was a combination of feeling like I feel like I'm starting to be ready to take the cap off. Yeah. And also of diminishing returns from, because Lee had this, obviously the whole thing's fictional, the whole thing's made up. So after a while, you're like, I don't know what else he's got to say about the world. I mean, hats off to someone like Steve Coogan with Alan Partridge, because that just keeps on better and better and better. And also I started doing more stunts. Yes. More for the and obviously when I'm giving Theresa May the P45, the Tory Party conference or whatever, or when I'm getting on stage with Kanye West at Glastonbury, these aren't real characters. These are sort of me being me, and out of that came, you know what, I want to start just talking in my own voice here. I want to actually start giving it a go, and it's something I've always been. Being in character was always way more natural for me. I never even wanted.
It's something that I'm aware of. It's kind of said it to me in the past.
Yeah.
About the fact that it's what.
It was just I wouldn't have thought of it. Just that's what I did. Yeah. I got in character. The people I looked up to, Ricky Gervais in The Office, Sacha Baron Cohen, and all his characters, Alan Partridge, Steve Coogan. And it was definitely a confidence thing as well, because there's nowhere to hide.
So when you saw on stage for the first time as you, how were you kind of? Did you have to relearn your craft? Oh
man, it was totally starting again. It was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Oh seriously?
And I've helped raise 2 children. My wife has to take the majority of the credit there, but it's harder than any of the stunts. Forget getting past the Secret Service to. Throw some golf balls at Donald Trump. Yeah. Being myself in that transition, it was like, imagine playing in goal professionally, top level, and then suddenly I'm gonna play as a striker, I'm gonna play up front, and everyone expects you to just be able to, because you're a footballer. Yeah. And it was how do I walk? How do I talk? How do I hold the mic? What do I say? I was basically what everyone has to go through, a newcomer again, and yet at the same time having the recognition of going on stage and people go yay and thinking that I'm famous. So that was hard. Yeah, that was hard.
But you were dedicated. You were like kind of.
Anything worth doing is not going to be easy, and it takes a long time to find your moment on stage, to find your, comedians call it, your voice, to find your swagger, what you do, how you sound, what you want to talk about. That's the other thing when you go from characters, be it Jason Bent's the obvious one, footballer, he talks football, he breathes football. Well, I can talk about anything, and that was kind of the thrill of it. Yeah. Anything, that is so cool. And so it felt like going from just being able to colour in with a handful of colours to just any colour. But at the moment I was still holding my hand and holding the colours with the left hand. I was used to with the right, so it was just weird. But after that it has just been this. What was amazing was obviously trying these things out and then you're never quite sure how fans are going to like it, how the public's going to like it, and then throwing some of the early clips of stand-up out onto TikTok and just like, whoa,
Wow.
they're up for this.
Yeah.
And dipping my toe in the water at the Edinburgh Festival, where they've only really known me for doing characters.
Yeah.
And then, okay, this is selling out.
Yeah.
It was a little venue.
Different people, or kind of.
Well, that's been the really cool thing about it. Look,
Yeah.
you're never going to please all the people all the time.
Of course.
But you know, as a comic, I'm dealing with laughs. You know,
Yeah.
there's no point, no laughs, and me going, well, I like it.
It's good for me. You have to like it, or if you don't, I don't care.
Exactly, artists get to do that. But I you know, you so what's been one of the most pleasing things is it's brought lots of the old fans
Yeah.
and loads of new fans, and some people know me, you know, maybe from the character days, from the Lee Nelson days. Some people know me from some of the pranks I've done. Lots of people are just coming on board now who don't know me from anything, and that's been really nice. There was no, geez, I liked him as that, but not as this.
Yeah.
I've never felt that. It's just been, and I don't think people care. Like, I think people watching comedy in general, your average person, they want to laugh. They're not really concerned whether what you're doing, how you're doing it. It's just so.
One of the things that I noticed, or kind of as, is almost liberating for you in terms of kind of actually you're just being yourself, so therefore you're much more comfortable talking to people. Because maybe the expectation of comedians sometimes is their ability to interact kind of in a normal setting, especially on stage, is tough. Whereas for you, kind of, it's just you've got a chance to be yourself.
It has been totally liberating. It's been amazing. Be able to talk as myself about things I care about. You know, when I'm slagging off my kids, they are now my kids. And that really feels good instead of Lee Nelson's pretend kids. And I'm talking about real things I care about. You know, one of the things that I talked about was, you know, some of the anti-Semitism I faced after stunting Donald Trump.
Yes.
And the KKK came after me, and the ex-head of the KKK, David Duke,
Yes.
he outed me as a Jew online.
Congratulations.
Yes. Well, fortunately, I already knew. So I, as I say on my show, was KKK. Thank you. So yeah, go from really personal, and then once you dip your toe in the water there, you're like, you know what? That's cool. I know I can do that.
Yeah.
Let's just be silly for a bit. Let's just go for, and it is really liberating.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So let me ask just one final question. Kind of go back into your history. Kind of, you were going to be a doctor.
I was, well, more than going to be a doctor. Some of my patients maybe say he should maybe be, but I actually was a doctor.
A real life doctor.
A real life one with a coat and a
okay, when I said maybe, that was your path in life.
That was my path in life. I went to medical school.
Yeah.
Studied, trained, did the business, passed the exams. Occasionally a few times of asking, but damn it, I passed them in the end. And then was set loose in the hospitals, and I don't think it was for me.
Yeah.
Exactly. It was, well, first of all, working in the NHS is, you've got to be committed. You have got to be committed. Forget any difficult corporate gig. This is really like it's hard. It's hard. You've got to, like anything I do, I've got to completely love doing it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's partly why why I wanted to move from being Lee Nelson, because I just when you slightly fall out of love with something, and yeah, with the medicine, it's hard. It is. I could never take it seriously. And maybe slightly on the. I mean, when you're late, when you turn up a few minutes late.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's they've passed away. There's.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see that. But I suppose I think the thing for me, which is interesting, and you kind of touched on it, is the fact that you're clearly a man who kind of, it's like when it's right for you, you're going to go for it.
I'm committed. I absolutely want something. I felt it was right for me all the way through, all the exams, all the hard work, all the studying. But then the actual, the working in the hospital bit, the patients just get in the way, frankly. It was great until they turned up. Yeah, it's really hard. Respect to everyone who's still working in the NHS. I was whacking my pans during lockdown on a Thursday night like you wouldn't believe. There was a lot of guilt in that pan whacking. But yeah, this is the right sometimes I chuckle to myself about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That moment
Sliding door.
when I left Manchester, the end of a 24-hour shift, and I drove home and rang on the bell and said, "Mum, Dad, I'm going to be living with you again for a little while. Slight change of plan." Yeah, and went for it, man.
Amazing. Simon, thank you so much.
Absolute
Lovely
pleasure.
speaking.
Thank you.
Cheers.